Joy, talk to me. Are the Suns, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, a team of all-stars, are they in trouble?
No, but that was a bad loss.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was, I didn't like that. Did not like that at all. I mean, the problem is with the Suns, we know they're a top-heavy team. So all of your stars are going to have to show up. That is a must. They cannot have off games. Again, the West is incredibly competitive. The Wolves are a very good team. They deserve to be talking trash because that was a kicking. It was really, really hard to watch. The problem with the Suns is not only do you need everyone to be good at the top, they don't have a lot of depth. And now you have Grayson Allen, who is the league's leading three-point shooter, missed all 3 of his shots, and then at his sprained ankle, he's questionable for game 2. That's very concerning.
He better play.
He really does need to play. It feels like you need some cohesiveness with the Suns, and it's just something that is missing there. And when you have these incredible stars, which they do, and shooters, you got to do what you do best. So KD's obviously the god. He's going to show up, and he did. But I feel worse about this Suns loss than I do about the Lakers loss.
Why is that?
I don't know. Because it was a really, really bad loss. Yeah. But you know, the Grayson Allen thing is concerning, and it's just like when do you make the switch? Like you've got Booker, who can score 70 points. Like,
that's the problem.
So I'm with there.
Switch.
Yeah. So here's where I am. I believe the Suns are in a lot of trouble so long as Devin Booker doesn't relent.
No question.
I think Devin Booker has to do what Steph Curry did when Kevin Durant went to Golden State. I do not believe, personally, y'all know this, I don't want to derail the conversation, but just so nobody clips it out, I don't believe that Kevin Durant went to Golden State and Steph Curry just had to bow out. Steph Curry chose to bow out. And because he chose to bow out, the Golden State Warriors inevitably won several titles. Kevin Durant is a much more efficient scorer than Devin Booker. He may not be a better scorer because D-Book has dropped 70 in a game before, but he's a much more efficient scorer than D-Book. At the point in which Kevin Durant had 31 points on 17 shots and Book has 18 points on 16 shots, that's bad math.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I was watching even last year, not just this year, family. Go back to last year. There is still a tug of war between who's going to be the leader on that team. Similar to the Miami Heat, LeBron James, D-Wade, circa 2011. There's a tug of war as to whose team it is. Now, Book was drafted to Phoenix, so in theory, it's Book's team. But Kevin Durant is a much more efficient player. If Book does not choose to relent, I believe that the Suns will lose this series because you got 2 alphas trying to be alpha, James Jones. Somebody got to take a backseat.
Yeah, but my thing is, if you're going to be alpha, score the ball. That's all that happened. Devin Booker had one of the worst games he had in a long time, you know? And yes, Kevin Durant is going to be able to get his shots up a whole lot easier than Devin Booker. My man's 7 foot shooting over Rudy Gobert easily. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why he's more efficient. Devin Booker got to work a little bit hard for his shots. But at the end of the day, you are one of the best scorers in this league. And that ain't even arguable. So go out there and get buckets with Kevin Durant, whoever has the ball. Him or Bradley Beal didn't show up in that game to be able to help KD. If the stars show up for the Phoenix Suns, they are just fine in this series. They lost the first game. I ain't even worried about Grayson Allen. And Grayson Allen is a heck of a player for the Suns on both sides of the ball. But if the stars just do what they are supposed to do for Phoenix, they are going to be just fine. That did not happen in game 1. And that's why they got beat down.
I'm not worried about the Suns, though. I mean, you made some good points. I just think that the reason why Kevin Durant, to me, is so special and is probably one of the best players we ever watched in basketball is because he can gel to any team, right? If you need jump shooters, cool. I can do that, right? If you need to do isolation, I can do that. And he doesn't have to have the ball as much to get his points up. He's one of the most efficient scorers we've ever seen. So Booker, I mean, I think he dominates the ball a lot more than what he should, I think, with having a guy like KD. But KD, he can manage that. My thing is this. When I watched this last game, I didn't see the fight. I didn't see the grit. I seen that from the Wolves, though. Minnesota won that game where you can say it from the attitude. And I don't know if it's because it's a home game or not, but when you're on the road and I think you're the better team, you got to go out there and take that. You know, we laughed about the bets about the boxing and all that. But one thing is, you got to go out there and beat the champ. Yeah. So the same thing in basketball. You on the road, playoff game. Go out there and steal that game. You got it. And I feel like when I watch the game, the small things like the loose balls, the chasing down the rebounds, everything, right? As they swing the ball around, the defender running, right? Replacing his man, like things like that, that's championship basketball. And when I watched the Suns, I did not see enough of that. But I've seen a lot of superstar basketball. Great quarter, real quick. And then you see Kevin Durant say, yo, we got to be more focused. more focused saying, yo, how many shots I get, how many shots you. No, it's more like, let's lock in and let's go out there and fight and take it.
But Shady, what you're saying is beautiful. I agree with everything that you're saying, but the problem is when you construct a roster like this, which is top-heavy and talent-heavy, even more so than top-heavy, it's talent-heavy, the role of all-stars isn't to do that. I always believe, like, every team needs what I call a janitor, somebody who's just going to clean it up. You think about the championship teams, they got somebody who's just going to be scrappy, just going to do the grunt work.
You need them.
When I look at this Suns team, particularly the 8-man rotation and really 7-man rotation come the playoffs, they don't have that. When you think about the likes of the Nuggets, they have that. The likes of the Warriors, the likes of the Celtics, they have that. Warriors, when they were winning, even Draymond Green, he is that. When you got Beal, he's not going to be that, bro. He's had 32 points in a season in his career. Booker, he's definitely not going to be that. Kevin Durant's not going to be that. So I think, Shady, if you asking that of them, that's a hard task to ask because Grayson Allen plus Nurk, I don't know that those are the grinders. They just got to they have to outscore Minnesota. They're not going to out-effort Minnesota.
Well, yeah, the Suns didn't score less. They beat them during the regular season. Yeah, so they can beat this team.
Agreed. Outscore them, though.
But that's what they have to do.
Are we really, like, super crazy over the top on the Timberwolves? Honestly,
no.
I'm not worried about the Suns. It just was a hideous loss.
Yeah, it was.
That's what it is.
Ant-Man is a dog.
They came out, of course. And the T-Wolves are a very good team. He is a great young player. They were more aggressive. They wanted that game more. And the Suns have to outscore their opponents. That's the way that they are built. Yep. That's how it's going to get done. You've got Beal, Booker, and KD. That's what you should be doing. Mm-hmm. And that's what they do. They've only scored less than 100 points 6 times in the season. They were 2-13 when they scored less than 107 points. Yeah, but put the ball in the bucket. That ball in bucket. That is what the Suns do. So when you don't do that, and when you have a team that hasn't necessarily determined who the galvanizer is, then that's what's going to happen.
Real quick. We only speaking on one part of the game. That's offense. When I look at the Timberwolves, I don't see them as like a super offensive team. I look at them as a defensive team, right? They switch everything. They play top-notch defense. I love that part. But what about the other side, right? Ant-Man gonna get off. He gonna go and do his thing.
He gonna create too.
Then what though? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So listen, we talking about one part of the ball. I watched Kevin Durant D up.
Yeah, of course.
I watched Bradley Beal play some defense.
But this was just really, to me, an energy effort. They wanted it more. The Suns were out-rebounded 52-28. They were outscored in the paint 52-34. It was just more. Yes.
And
go ahead, Jay.
No, I think that is what it is right there because Book and KD been to the finals. KD done won a couple. This is a really young Minnesota team that ain't really battle-tested. You know how these games is going to go on the road. It's going to be a lot of energy and effort from the home team. Right. If you're going to win any of these games on the road, game 1, game 2, any of these teams on the road, you got to come out with that energy. Same way with the Clippers. They came out with that energy and put it on the map. Like, you're on the road, and for them to have all this experience, especially with Book and KD, you didn't see that on no sides of the ball, especially for Booker, on no sides of the ball. So I think they're going to be just fine. I think they'll respond.
We definitely don't see the Nuggets, or not the Nuggets, I'm sorry, the Timberwolves, right? I seen Nelly the other day. He got the accent, and all that. We don't got these Timberwolves winning, 120 every game? Am I tripping out? No. They're not going to be scoring that many points. Lock up on D on both sides and make them boys score. Simple as that.
Well said.
Every game.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.